So you may have seen someone who showed up at a job, especially if you're working like warehouse work, retail work, factory work, and they show up. And one little setback, they have a meltdown. They feel like crap. They cry, get angry. You say, what's wrong with this person? Can't they just take a little setback? Like, what's wrong with people? Like, are they too comfortable? Did your dad not beat you enough? Did nobody ever say no to you? Don't know how to deal with setbacks. I've heard that kind of stuff before said about people. You think they're weak because they can't handle the stress of this simple job. We really don't know what kind of burden they're bearing. It very well could be that they're bearing extreme physical pain, could be one, but probably psychological pain. You don't know what they're going through. They may carry a degree of anxiety and misery that you might only experience on occasion, maybe when someone dies or in an emergency situation. But they carry it all day. Yet you'll go and say, oh, what a weakling. They can't handle a little setback. Oh my gosh. Can't handle a little talking to from the boss. It could be they carry a burden that's much heavier than anyone you bear or will ever bear. So they're not weak. This ghost pipe from last year. Hopefully some more grows out here after this rain. They're not weak. They're very strong people who are at their limit. When I say strong, I mean emotionally strong. Think about this. If you have a level of anxiety, let's say 1, you're totally relaxed, and 10, you're at your maximum. These people are running like over a 9 on a regular basis. They handle tremendous amounts of anxiety. And like an easy day is when their anxiety is down to like an 8 or a 7. And like you'll experience an 8 or a 7 when, I don't know, you get in a fight with your spouse briefly, or I don't know, someone pulls out their car too soon and almost hits your car. And it's short-lived and you get past it. But carrying very high anxiety for an extended period of time wears on you. So they get to work and they have a meltdown and they start crying or whatnot because they're already overburdened. They're carrying a burden that most will never bear. So they're not weak. They're just suffering. And they can't handle very much more suffering than they already have. It makes life very difficult. And they can do biofeedback, and they can try to rationalize things and put things in perspective and practice gratitude and all the other bullshit that people say you're supposed to do. You know, meditation, prayer. Some people find benefit from that. Look down here. Indian cucumber. They're coming up. That's nice. They can try all those things. But sometimes there is no cure. There's just pain. So before you jump to conclusions, I just strongly suggest you consider that maybe the person that you think is a weakling, emotionally unresilient weakling, is actually pretty friggin' strong. And they're carrying a burden that you'll never have to carry. So everyday life, fixing a meal, going to work, picking up that box and putting it on the pallet jack and then driving it so you pick up the next box, or serving that next customer or whatever, that pushes them to their limit. Sometimes beyond. Thank you for listening.